Bye, Daddy.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, my husband came to say.
Oh.
Bye.
Just that I need to pull my notes out. So the type 1 is if you, like, the best comparison that I found in the notes or in the lesson was the type 2 error. Oh, Shelby says she's stuck in another group meeting. But she says she's coming. She says, I'm stuck in another group meeting. So anyway.
Yeah.
So if we say that they're not guilty, like if someone is guilty or not guilty, and we say they're not guilty, and if we say that they're innocent, and they're actually innocent, but how did I? No. I think I copied this down correctly. So if the verdict is not guilty.
Yeah. That's the decision.
Right. If the verdict is not guilty, which means innocent.
Yeah.
And they actually are guilty. That's a type 2. But if they are guilty, and we say that they're innocent, then it's type 1. Is that right? Did I understand that correctly?
It's type 1 when you say is not guilty. When you reject it, but it's true. You know what I mean?
Yes. So if we reject the null hypothesis and it's true, it's type 1.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You write that down. If we reject the null hypothesis, but it's true, it's type 1.
Yes.
Okay.
I will go outside to write that. If we reject it and it's true, is type 1.
Okay. If we reject the null hypothesis and it's true, it's type 1.
Yeah.
So then it means if we fail to reject the null hypothesis,
and it's true, is the correct decision. Yes.
If we fail to reject the null hypothesis, and it's true, and it's false, then it's not. They both can't be true. We're wrong in both cases. Both cases are wrong.
You're talking about 2. I was talking about failing to reject, but the null being true is the correct decision. But you're talking about type 2, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Type 2 is that if you fail or you don't reject, if you don't, I understand better don't. If you don't reject, that's easier for me. And is false, then is 2. Hi, Shelby.
Hi.
Hello.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. We're talking about type 1 and type 2 errors. Do you understand that, Shelby, what that is?
Yes.
So why don't you explain it to us, and maybe how you explain it will help us.
I think on how to explain this. So it's the wrong rejection of a true null hypothesis is the type 1, and the type 2 is the failure to reject a false null hypothesis.
Okay,
So
that's what we just said.
Okay.
Okay. I still got to wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
I had to repeat
Okay,
it.
Morgan says that he got off work late. I think we should just go forward and he'll jump in.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you do the preparation, Shelby?
I did part 1, but I haven't even looked at part 2, to be completely honest.
I've only started part 2, so.
Okay.
Okay. So part 1, the null hypothesis is the status quo, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So the alternative hypothesis represents the one-sided tail, the left tail.
Yes.
Yes.
How I remember that is the mouth opens to the right and the pointy part opens to the left. That's how I know.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's how I remember.
Yeah.
So we just went over the type 1 and type 2.
Yeah.
So the level of significance, 0.05 for alpha. And then the formula, we just did this on the last test,
Yep.
Yeah.
equals sample minus the mean, sample mean minus the mean, population mean,
Over.
divided by sigma divided by the square root of n.
Yes.
Perfect.
So p-value, probability of observing a value that is as extreme or more extreme, assuming that the null hypothesis is true.
Yep.
Yes.
Null hypothesis is rejected. Sufficient evidence concluding that it's true. With the
Right.
hypothesis is true.
What do you answer? The 7 for the 7 is that is accepted. Is that right?
7,
Yeah.
if we have sufficient evidence that the alternative hypothesis is true.
Oh yeah. We have sufficient. Okay. That's true.
So I didn't really think of any examples of
I didn't
where
either.
we've seen the hypothesis testing.
I didn't either.
I don't know.
I just got this stuff. Well, what I heard in the radio in my community because we have fields here, and they test the air pollution when it's harvest time, because here is a lot of wheat, and they tell you how much it has been normally, the mean for that, and then they tell you if it increase or decrease, things like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so part 2. So basically, it says the null and the alternative hypothesis. I'm glad these were easy. So the null hypothesis
Would be
is,
the 20.
529.
yeah, mu is equal to 529. And then the alternative hypothesis is mu is greater than 529.
Yes, is the sign, no?
Right.
Yeah.
And
529.
then I put type 1 for B.
Yes.
And then C is 1 in 100 or a 1% chance that type 1 error could occur.
Yes.
Now D,
Is it increase?
Increase.
I put that,
Yeah.
but I can't remember why. Can you explain that?
Increase the population of making a type 2 error. Would we need to increase or decrease the level of significance? There was something. Oh, I didn't do that.
Does this go back to the p-value?
That would be because that's what they use to compare and to define if it's type 1 or type 2.
Right.
But then I answered also increase, but now I don't know why.
Yeah.
What you
Yeah.
said makes sense.
The words.
Okay, so then number 2. So then the realtor, here's the realtor. Blah, blah, blah. So the mu is 47. Sigma is 5, or standard deviation is 5. Okay, so you guys do this by hand?
No, I did with the SPSS.
Was the file in there?
No, you enter the numbers. You enter all your variables. You enter 27, 49, 56, everything, and then you just analyze that, and it gives you the histogram, all the data.
Were we shown how to do that?
Oh yeah, it's supposed. Yeah, if you see our classes, because you remember we needed to do a page like this for the exam.
Right.
And then I have found that we have many things for example, SPSS to calculate the mean or the median, SPS to calculate percentiles. Yeah, and I copy the steps.
But I didn't know that you did that in there, like with nothing in there, without a file. We just create a file and do that?
Oh yeah, you can do that.
I don't know how. Do you know how, Shelby?
No, I didn't know you could do it.
If you remember, guys, one of the when we just started using, you try to put the stuff, and even you can change the name and stuff there, and gives you everything.
I'll have to play with that because I just started out and I did the minimum, the median, the mean, the first quartile, the third quartile. I did that all by hand.
By hand.
And then I'm like, how do I figure out? And I didn't want to go through the whole thing to figure out the standard deviation and the variance because it's long.
Right.
Yeah, to do by hand is long.
Yeah.
You want to do now? No.
Well, I can do it later. I'll play with it.
Okay.
I don't want to waste. I don't want to take everybody's time up.
Because it's something very important. Because that.
Right. I'll figure it out. Yeah. Unless Shelby, do you want to do it?
No, I'll have to mess with it. It'll take me forever.
I'm kind of a slow person when it comes to this.
Because the mean on that one and the SPSS is 46.73.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Which is 47, but I don't know. It could be 47, but then
I got 46.73 doing it by hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Is that? Yeah. Now I answered those, but now my question is this. At one point, I have 2 standard deviations because I got the standard, and here it says, assuming the national standard deviation was 5, so we consider that to do
I think that's the population standard deviation, and his is the sample, and then we have the sample standard deviation.
And the sample is what I got. I got confused there because I have another standard deviation.
What is the sample standard deviation?
8.827.
And what's the variance?
You got me there. I didn't copy that.
Okay, I'll have to go in and figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
So
I got.
So once we do that, create a histogram.
Yes.
And then it says on D1, it says check the requirement. Since there are only 15 pieces of data, what will we need to check? What does that mean?
And D, check the requirements since they are only 15 pieces. Why would you need to check?
Requirements that you can continue
I says check for normality. I answer no. I think assume that the data is SRSS from a large group, which is not. It's only 15 clients. That we know that data is not normal. Yeah, it's not normal.
I just looked at the answer sheet.
Yeah.
It says that we need to make a QQ plot of the data to check for normality.
Yes, and I did, and I didn't find. I did.
And what did it look like? Was it normal?
No, it was
no.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So it says state the null alternative hypothesis.
Is this a 1 or 2 tail? And should be 2 because it's different. Is that right?
I don't know because I didn't do the histogram.
No, but if we see up in the data up there, it says here according okay, here it says that the guy thinks that
not the same.
Yes, it says here, assuming the national standard deviation was 5, a real estate agent wants to determine if the average age of those buying investment property in his area is different.
Different, so that means not equal to.
Yes, no equal, and that will give you 2 tails. Yes.
So if he would have said less than or greater than, that would have either been right-tailed or left-tailed.
Correct. And that gives you only 1 tail. Yeah, that's correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So let sigma be 0.05. Compute this test statistic. So
yeah, okay.
With the test statistic, Michelle, is we apply the formula. Is that right?
Right. So isn't it
okay.
46.73 minus 47?
I mess up there, Michelle, honestly. Yeah, should be, I did the contrary. I did 47 minus 46.7.
Let me look and see what the answer says.
What the answer says?
Well, it says it's the sample minus the mu. So the sample mean, isn't that 46.73? Let me see if I get this right.
Your sample
40.73 minus what the average mean was. They wanted to say, they said 47 equals negative 0.27 divided by, okay, which standard deviation are we using? Probably.
That was my con.
Let me, so I'm going to use the 8.8. We'll see how that turns out.
Okay.
8 divided by the square root of 15, right?
Right.
Yes.
8.827 divided by the square root of 15.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have negative point. Nope, that's the wrong. I think that's the wrong one.
Does this apply 5?
So let me look and see what 5 is.
Yeah. Apply 5 and see what happened. I will do here. I mess up since I started. 5 divided 15. That should be minus 0.3, I think.
Yes, it is the 5.
Yay. Is the 5?
It is the 5. He used the standard deviation of 5.
Yeah, which is not the correct one.
Well, remember, we're trying to prove that we're trying to either reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject. So I think that's why you have to use the original one, but you have to use the sample. Is Is that right?
Okay.
It
Should
sounds
be,
right.
because if they put the number, it's for something, yeah. So I will ignore that.
Okay, I'm going to just write this formula down. What did we say? 46.73.
And the answer, how much is that?
It is 0.209.
Okay. Now comes the cheese.
And then you compare the p-value. So
yes.
So the p-value, which is 0.05.
The 0.005?
No,
right?
I'm sorry. Don't listen to that. First, sketch a standard normal curve. Graph your test statistic along the horizontal axis. Shade the appropriate under the curve. Use the normal applet to compute the area. This is the p-value. So we got to go into the applet.
Yes.
Do you have your applet?
P0.
Yes. 0. Minus. It's a minus, no? Or a positive?
It should be positive. It's 0.209.
Okay. And it's 2 tails. Is that right? Yes, because it's different. Yeah.
Yes. So my confusion on this is how to know if it's 2 tails. That's right. It goes on either side.
Yes. You just color the ends and then put your C-score, enter, and that gives you 0.8344.
Right. That's correct. Right. That's what I got. Let's see if that's what the answer.
Morgan.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, that is correct, Betty.
Yeah. Michelle, explain Morgan what's going on.
So we are on the part 2. We are on letter V. Did you do the preparation assignment?
A little bit, yeah. So hopefully I did it.
Yeah, Shelby and I didn't get it all done either, but Teddy did. It sounds like.
Okay. Yeah, I could follow along a little bit because I, for whatever reason, couldn't join the video, but I could watch your live stream. So I was watching you for about 2-3 minutes trying to figure out how to get on.
So how did you figure it out?
I got on my phone versus trying to do it on the computer.
Wow.
3, 4.
Okay, great.
I have a question on that. For example, if I am late or something happened, you, Michelle, who are at this time the organizer, you need to call me? Because no. I think if I call, should I join? That I am not good with.
The last couple times I've done it differently, where I got on right before and I invited you immediately. This last time I invited you and said it was going to start later, and I don't think it started. So I just re-invited you, so I got what's that? Say that again?
Set up the time. So say you say it's supposed to start at 7:30. If you go into your Hangout on air, you have to click start, which will be the little blue button to the side.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're on number 6. Compare the p-value to the level of significance. So the p-value was 0.8344 and alpha is 0.05, so this is clearly higher. So does that mean it's much more extreme, so we fail to reject?
Because p-value is larger than alpha.
Right.
Fail. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we fail to reject the null hypothesis.
And which type is that?
So in the lesson it says p-value low, fail the null. I think that's what it said. Is that right?
Yes, that's a thing that they have to remember. P is low, and then I try to associate with another thing, and I cannot.
So,
Okay.
so then it means there's significant. Does that mean, so it says, state your conclusion in terms of the alternative hypothesis. So does that mean that there's significant data to conclude that the null hypothesis is not correct?
Yeah, because we don't have enough evidence.
Yes, we have not enough evidence to conclude that the mean age of people buying a second home is different. Is that right? To the national average of 47.
Let me see what the answer is on here. We fail to reject, yes. State your conclusion. We have insufficient evidence to conclude that the mean age of people buying a second home is different in this area other than that of the national average of 47.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's low, we could have challenged it, but since it's high, we just conclude that it is 47.
Right.
That's a good. If it's more, that P is more than the alpha, then it's fail to reject. Okay. We need to play more with these concepts too. I need to.
I will. Morgan, did you know that we're supposed to go into the histogram and enter our own data?
In SPSS?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that you had to do that.
Were we shown how to do that?
It's just, there's some video tutorials. I actually didn't go over it, but
Yes.
I think if you just open SPSS normally without, sorry, I'm being told that you download the files.
Oh.
Oh.
The one for this homework?
Hold on a second.
She's a cutie.
He's a cutie. Yeah. Looks like him. Hi, Michelle. I want
Yeah.
to make something to, even not to memorize yet, if I can see, get the logic to define, because the questions, once the question comes, they are like that.
I know.
Repeating.
In the quiz, I guess there's a couple questions, and you'll have a file to download and put onto SPSS. But normally, when I was playing with SPSS, you can individually put numbers in there, and then you can create a histogram. I was toying with it. I'd have to open it up and look at it again.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Michelle, you will grab fast. It's not difficult at all. You will grab like that very fast.
We'll get it. It just takes practice.
Yeah, it's just once and then.
I know that this particular chapter's kind of kicked my butt going over the preparation.
It was long too.
Yeah.
So it's just I'm just wrapping around. I mean, I understood the whole, if you accuse somebody of being guilty and they're not, then that's one error. But if you say that they're innocent and they're actually guilty, isn't that type 2 error? That's worse.
I think that's a good analogy, but I'm
That's that was from the lesson. I didn't make that up.
So.
Yeah, we need to.
Okay, you guys feel like we're ready for the quiz?
Yeah.
Probably ready.